Hey everybody, so this next set of videos is going to be all about one of, I think, the most important parts of Google Classroom and the thing that is going to give you the most bang for your buck, which is assignments. Now, posting assignments is probably what you're going to be using Google Classroom for the most, and it's kind of a long and involved process with a lot of moving parts, and so I'm going to be splitting this up into three parts. We're going to learn how to create assignments, we're going to learn how to track them, and then we're also going to learn how to communicate and comment using them. So there's a bunch of moving parts to this, but I think you'll be able to figure it out if you follow along. So the first thing we're going to do is create an assignment. Now, you're going to need a couple of different things to create an assignment. The first thing you're going to need is you're going to need an original assignment, or the worksheet portion of your assignment, if you will, what the students are going to respond to you with in your Google Drive. Right up here is a class assignment that I've created. I'm not really sure what class it's for. It could be science, it could be math, I don't know. It could be a lot of different things, but this is a set of questions that students need to answer for homework. Very typical. I mean, you can basically think about this as what you'd be taking to the copy machine to photocopy. So it could be a worksheet, it could be movie questionnaire, it could be a written response like a DBQ or an essay prompt, whatever you want, but this is where this is what the students are going to write on. So what I have is I have this class assignment. I'm going to go to my teacher view and I'm going to go to the classwork tab and I'm going to go up to create. Now let's say that this assignment is going to be a part of unit 2. So I go to the assignment option here and this dialog box pops up. A couple quick reminders: I can post an assignment to multiple classes at once by selecting them here. And I can also decide which students get an assignment by selecting all or by clicking the specific ones here, which is a great differentiation technique we'll talk about a lot more. So the title of this assignment is Questions, spelled correctly maybe. The instructions, which this is optional, are answer in complete sentences. And then down here I got a couple of options here. Now this one right here says points. Now eventually you're going to have to take all of these grades and put them in Infinite Campus, but it's a good idea to make sure that this number equals the number of points that are going to go into Infinite Campus so the two align. So I'm just going to say that this is a 10-point assignment. I can also label it to be ungraded if it's something that's a formative and I don't want students to have to worry about it. Due date. Now this is really important for a couple of reasons. You want to set a due date because you want students in Google Classroom to get sent reminders for things that aren't that are due. You also want, if you're going to do guardian emails, which we'll talk about more, which is an automated email that alerts parents to what's due and what's missed or what's late, you need to set a date here. So you can set no due date. I'm going to set a due date. I'm going to say that the due date is Friday, April 5th. And then you can also set a time. That's optional. I'm just going to set the date. And then finally, topic. Now remember, I wanted it to drop under unit number 2, which is under handouts. Now the last thing I want to do to set this up is I want every single one of the students in my class to get a copy of this for their own, and that's the really important part. In order to do that, I'm going to have to select it from my Google Drive. You can include other resources, so for example, if you wanted them to watch a movie on YouTube and then respond to questions, you can add extra resources, but for this, all I'm going to do is click the Google Drive button. I'm going to find that worksheet that I created in Google Drive, which is right here. I'm going to hit the Add button. And now the last thing that you need to do, and this is the most important step, students can view file is the default. I'm going to click this, and I have a couple of options. I can give it to students to just view. So if it was a reading, an article, or some sort of set of directions, that would be good. Students can edit file is something that I could do if I wanted students to be able to kind of do a group crowdsourced thing, like if I put a Google Doc up there and I asked everybody to type in a couple of topics for our paper, that's another thing that can happen. What I want to do is click on make a copy for each student. Now this is important because what this is going to do as soon as I hit the assign button is it's going to take this class assignment, it is going to send a copy to every single student, it's going to set a due date for it, it's going to put their name at the top, and it's going to put a copy of it in my Google Classroom file. And we're going to talk about file structure a little bit later. So make sure that you always switch it from students can view file to make a copy for each student if you want to create an assignment. And then I'm going to hit the assign button. Once I do that, it is going to take a few moments, but it's going to appear in my classwork section in just a second here. I may have to hit the refresh button to get it to actually appear. There it is, Unit 2 handouts. And then if you go to the student view, I'm going to go ahead and hit refresh in my student view. What students will see when that happens, you'll see right here under upcoming assignments, whatever assignment is due next. In this case, because I put that due date, it says it's due right here. And then in my classwork section, as a student, there's my questions right there. So you can see that I've gotten a couple of things that have popped up with that one button. In this next one, we're going to talk a little bit about how to check to make sure students are submitting assignments, and then how to track and comment on them as well.